Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Signal. Today we are diving into a topic that might just make you look twice at your company's network setup, because what if I told you your VPN, the very thing meant to protect your remote access, could actually be your biggest ransomware risk? Yep, you heard that right. According to new data from cyber insurance provider at Bay, organizations using certain VPNs like Cisco and Citrix were almost 7 times more likely to get hit by ransomware. That's not a small uptick, that's a red flashing, siren blaring kind of number. And this is not speculation or theory, it's based on real-world claims data from companies that actually suffered attacks. So, in this episode we are breaking down what those numbers really mean, why VPNs have become prime hunting grounds for hackers, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your organization before that happens. Oh, and make sure you stick around till the end, because I've got a free downloadable VPN incident playbook that walks you through exactly what to do if your VPN ever gets breached. Trust me, you want that one saved. All right, let's now get into it. So let's talk about what the data actually shows. Over the past 15 months, cyber-insurer at the Bay looked at hundreds of ransomware cases, and the numbers were jaw-dropping. Almost 80% of all ransomware incidents started with a remote access tool being compromised. And get this, in more than 80% of those, the attacker came straight through a VPN. So, forget the idea that ransomware starts with a phishing email or some random USB stick. No, today it's often the company's own VPN portal that opens the door. Think about that for a second. The same tool we use to safely connect from home or while traveling has turned into one of the most reliable targets for attackers. And the scary part? These VPNs are scanned constantly, every single hour, by automated bots looking for the tiniest crack, a missed patch, or a weak password. This means defenders are not just playing catch up, they are running an uphill marathon. And remember, in the description below you will find a link to the VPN breach playbook that breaks down how to respond, contain and respond when the first crack appears. Next up, we are going to look at who's leading this rather unfortunate VPN risk leaderboard. So here's where things get really interesting and honestly a bit uncomfortable for some big tech names. When at Bay compared ransomware incidents across different VPN vendors, two names stood out right at the top: Cisco and Citrix. Organizations using those VPNs were about 6.8 times more likely to suffer a ransomware attack compared to companies that didn't use a VPN at all. 6.8 times, that's not just a blip, that's a flashing red alert. Right behind them were SonicWall, Palo Alto and Fortinet, also showing a risk spike of around 5 to 6 times the baseline. So the pattern is quite clear, it's not just one vendor, it's the whole category of on-premise VPN appliances that's under fire. And it makes sense, these devices sit right on the edge of your network, exposed to the internet, and if attackers find a way in, they are in. Now, before anyone panics, this isn't about bashing any brand. It's about recognizing that legacy VPN models come with built-in exposure that modern attackers love to exploit. In the next part, we will unpack why this happens, and trust me, it has a lot to do with complexity, patches, and a little something called maintenance fatigue. So, why are these VPNs getting hammered so hard? Well, it's not that Cisco or Citrix suddenly forgot how to build security gear. The problem is complexity and maintenance. Over the years, these devices have evolved into all-in-one machines. They are not just VPNs anymore. They are also firewalls, routers, intrusion detectors, and sometimes even web filters. Sounds efficient, right? Except every extra feature means more code, more patches, more ways of something to go wrong. Now, picture this. A new vulnerability gets published on a Wednesday. Within hours, bots around the world start scanning for it. Meanwhile, your IT team is swamped, change control is low, and the patch window might be, well, next week. That gap, those few days or weeks, is all attackers need. It's a bit like leaving your front door unlocked because the locksmith is coming on Monday. And that's what at-base data really shows. It's not always bad technology, it's good technology left unmaintained. Later in this episode, I'll point you to a few strategies that actually reduce that complexity. But before we get there, let's look at what happens when attackers find that unpatched door, because they absolutely do. Alright, let's talk about how attackers actually break in and how you can fight back when it happens. Two of the biggest culprits in recent years, well, CitrixBleed and CVE 2023-20269. CitrixBleed basically allowed hackers to steal active session tokens straight from memory, which meant they could jump right into corporate networks, even bypassing multi-factor authentication. Scary, right? Then name Cisco's the CVE 2023-20269, a flaw that let attackers brute force passwords without limits until they struck gold. Once inside, they could use clientless VPN access to move freely across the environment. No phishing, no social engineering, just straight up exploitation. These are not theoretical risks, they were used in real ransomware campaigns, including Akira and Lockbit, that took down production lines, hospitals, and city networks. And here's where the VPN breach playbook comes in. In that guide, I'll walk you through exactly what to do the moment you realize your VPN has been compromised, from isolating the device to cutting attacker persistence and rebuilding cleanly. Think of it as your emergency checklist when things go south. Because once attackers get in, it's no longer about prevention, it's about speed, containment, and recovery. Next up, we'll look at what that kind of breach really costs, financially, operationally, and reputationally. So, what happens after a VPN breach? Let's get real about the fallout. First, financial hit. We're not just talking about ransom payments, there's downtime, recovery, legal fees, and often third-party investigations. Add it all up, and even a mid-sized company can be looking at 6 to 7 figures gone in weeks. Then there is the operational chaos. Once attackers get in through the VPN, they usually move fast, straight towards your domain controllers, backups, and email servers. Within hours, they got the keys to everything, and suddenly your whole network is locked up or worse, encrypted. Finally, we got the reputation damage. Data protection laws mean public disclosure is almost guaranteed. Customers start asking tough questions, regulators get involved, and your brand's name start trending for all the wrong reasons. It's the kind of event that doesn't just stop business, it changes it. Now, the good news? Well, you can dramatically lower that risk. In this next section, we'll shift gears and talk about what these findings mean for you, and what simple changes can stop your VPN from becoming the next headline breach. Alright, so let's bring this a little closer to home. What does all this mean for you? If your organization uses a VPN, especially one that's self-hosted, you need to assume it's being probed right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Automated bots never sleep. That's why you have to treat your VPN like a tier 0 infrastructure, just like your identity system or your domain controllers. It's not a utility, it's a critical asset that needs eyes on 24/7. Start by monitoring every connection. Who's logging in, from where and when. Anything odd, investigate immediately. Then look at your patching speed. If you are updating monthly, you're already too slow. Vulnerabilities today spread in hours, not days. And here's a mindset shift. Don't aim for perfect security. Aim for fast reaction. The teams that survive ransomware are not the ones who never get hit. They are the ones who detect and respond in minutes. If this part hits a little too close to home, don't worry, I've got you covered. Again, the VPN breach playbook link below walks you step by step through what to do the moment you detect suspicious VPN activity. Up next, we'll talk about the 5 fixes that matter the most, small moves that could make a difference in keeping attackers out. So, now that we know the risks, let's talk about what actually moves the needle, the 5 fixes that make the biggest difference. First, enforce multi-factor authentication everywhere. Seriously, this one step stops the majority of credentials-based attacks. No MFA means you are leaving the vault wide open. Second, tighten up your patch cycle. Don't wait for maintenance windows. If there's a critical VPN patch, treat it like a fire drill. Every day you delay gives attackers a head start. Third, disable clientless portals or unused features. If you don't need web-based access, shut it off. Fewer doors mean fewer break-ins. Fourth, throttle login attempts and add geo-filters. Most brute force attacks come from predictable regions or cloud IP ranges. Block them and make the attacker's job miserable. And finally, segment your VPN access by role. Your accountant doesn't need server level access, and your admin shouldn't be connecting from the same pool as regular users. Limit the blast radius before it even happens. Each of these may sound simple, but together they slash your risk dramatically, and insurers like AdPay are already rewarding companies that take these steps. And if you want the full step-by-step remediation checklist, including how to test and validate this change, you will find it in the VPN breach playbook linked below. Up next, we're going beyond just fixes. We're talking about the strategic shift that's reshaping how remote access works altogether. All right, time to zoom out a bit and look at the big picture, because the real game changer is not just patching faster, it's rethinking remote access altogether. Traditional VPNs build one big tunnel into your network. Once you're in, you're in. That model made sense years ago, but today it's like giving every employee a master key to the entire building. So enter Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, and SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. Fancy acronyms, but the idea is simple. Instead of opening the whole network, users only get access to the specific apps or systems they actually need, and every connection is verified in real time. This means no wide open tunnels, no static trust, and far less to patch or expose. If a device is outdated or a login looks suspicious, access is denied right then and there. And here's the best part. Cyber-insurers are starting to reward companies that move to these modern models with better coverage terms and lower premiums. The VPN breach playbook includes a section on how to start this transition step by step, so you can phase out legacy VPNs without breaking daily operations. Coming up next, we'll talk about what happens when, despite all your best efforts, someone still finds a way in, and how to make sure you catch them before the damage is done. So let's get real for a second. Even with the best defenses, someone somewhere will eventually slip through. That's why your safety net, your ability to detect and respond fast, matters just as much as prevention. The difference between a close call and a total meltdown usually comes down to minutes. That's where managed detection and response, or MDR, earns its keep. These services monitor your network around the clock, watching for those subtle signs that something is wrong, like strange VPN logins at 3 a.m. or data quietly flowing out of cloud storage sites like Mega or rclone. When they catch it early, your team can jump in, revoke sessions, isolate devices, and shut down the threat before files start getting encrypted. The VPN breach playbook dives deep into this stage: containment, recovery, and clean restoration. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, make sure you do. It's basically your blueprint for what to do in the heat of an attack. Because no matter how strong your walls are, your best defense is being ready to act the instant someone climbs over them. And in our final slide, we'll wrap a bit things up with a quick summary and few key takeaways to help you turn all these insights into action. Alright, let's bring it all home. Here's the bottom line: the data doesn't lie. VPNs have become one of the biggest ransomware targets out there. And it's not because they're bad tech, it's because they have been left exposed, underpatched, and over-trusted. And here's the good news: you are now armed with the insight and the tools to fix that. Keep your VPN patched and locked down, enforce MFA everywhere, segment access, and start planning your move towards zero trust. Each of those steps makes you a harder target and a less interesting one to attackers. And if you want to go even further, grab the free VPN breach containment and recovery playbook linked below. It's your go-to guide for exactly what to do if your VPN ever gets compromised, from first response to full recovery. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching the Daily Signal. Max here, Point Break Security. Stay sharp, stay patched, and I'll see you in the next one.